Good morning, Representative Welch.
Hey, Linda, how are you?
I'm good. It's been quite a while. It's good to see your face.
Yeah, you too. Good to see you. Good to see you. You get to see your team?
Yeah. So we have with us this morning, Patricia Stokes. She is our Supportive Housing Director.
Hi, Patricia.
And William Jones is one of our housing navigators at, been on staff for, both of them have been on staff for quite a while now, 3-4 years. So want to thank you for taking the time this morning. I know that you are super busy. So we wanted to connect with you and let you know what we're doing to help out your constituents within your area. And a lot has happened to our agency since March, and wanted to give an opportunity to bring you up to speed on all that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Always enjoy working with you, Linda, and appreciate the work that Housing Forward does in and around my district. So been looking forward to this. So thank you.
Obviously, these are very challenging times for all of us. I see all the amazing work that you are doing. And I see your post on Facebook and LinkedIn, and I was like, I need to reach out to to Chris and let him know what Housing Forward has been working on the last 4 or 5 months now. So when the governor announced the shelter-in-place order, that was a challenge to us to respond to the needs of those that are obviously on the streets. We're residing in our emergency shelter, and to conform to the shelter-in-place order was going to be a challenge for those that we serve. So starting in March, we had shut down our rotating system of shelter and converted it to a 24/7 congregate shelter. And we did that for just under a week when it was decided by the Oak Park Health Department that it would be best to keep all of our clients safe, to move those that we were serving into individual accommodations, and primarily using hotels to be able to do that. And so we moved 65 people from Oak Park Temple on March 23rd and moved them into 3 hotels. and for the most part, that is where individuals have resided since then. And they are safe. They are certainly appreciative of the accommodations. They're able to get the rest that they need. Many of them have actually told us that they're feeling better. About a third of those that we serve have some sort of underlying medical condition, which really puts them into a high risk category for contracting COVID. And we knew that, while certainly expensive, that placing people into hotels was really going to be the best option for everyone to keep them safe. But it's time now to transition those that we're serving to hotels. And over the course of the last 4 months, we've served upwards of 165 individuals. We've maintained a regular census of about 110. So some people have moved on to their own individual apartments. But wanted to let you know about this new initiative that we have to move the remaining 110 individuals from those hotels into homes. Patricia, would you like to talk about our process for doing that?
Of course. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Patricia. Good, thank you.
Good. So we have several opportunities for housing clients post hotel stays. So we have organized ourselves around various opportunities. One that we're actively working with right now is the Oak Park Housing Authority and Mainstream Vouchers. So we have about 33 slots that we have the ability to apply for through the Oak Park Housing Authority. And about 26 of those have moved into the application phase for the mainstream voucher. So our hope, of course, is that all of those will be approved and we will be able to house those clients in Oak Park. Of course, the big piece for us in all of this is locating the necessary units to make that happen quickly and efficiently. So we have a couple of landlord partnerships that have been helpful, but we're always scouting for others. Then through the CARES Act, we have gotten resources for Cicero and for Cook County. And Linda, you can enhance this if I leave something out. So those dollars will be for rapid rehousing. And I don't know how familiar you are with the housing terminology, but rapid rehousing is a rental assistance model. So we would just be providing a subsidy for a period of time with the expectation that clients would be able to identify employment that is sufficient for them to pay their rent after the subsidy is exhausted. So that's another plan, I believe, and there are 20 units that we are looking for in Cicero. And I think there will be an additional 40 units through Cook County. So that's an additional 60 people that we'll be able to house. And if you're counting like me.
Patricia, when you say Cook County, is it any specific area of Cook County? South suburbs, west suburbs?
So we have, it's western suburbs. So we have the opportunity to house in our sort of catchment area, which is fairly broad. So we have several townships that are part of our service area where clients can actually identify where they'd like to live, and we try to identify units in those areas. So
and
again,
Proviso Township?
Exactly.
Proviso Township is a part of Cook County, yes.
Okay.
So again, a key element of that is identifying landlords that are willing to work with us so that we can expedite identifying units and leases for those clients.
Can I ask this question?
Sure.
So I gotta imagine just getting in the unit is part of the battle. I mean, is there any type of assistance with, I don't know, furnishings, a mattress? I mean,
so for all of this,
is there some type of kit that you give out?
Yes, so for all of this, we are providing assistance. So first of all, we work with the Chicago Furniture Bank, which makes furnishing a unit very cost effective, because for $50, our clients can get all of the items that they basically need for their unit. Of course, the big cost is in moving it, but we try to cluster clients so that we can manage the moving cost more efficiently. And then we have been operating, this gets into our Hotel to Home initiative. We've been operating a drive for household accessories, televisions, microwaves, vacuum cleaners, brooms, mops, cleaning supplies, dishes, glasses, all of those things that are not furniture items that you need to operate your household.
How are constituents being made aware of this program?
So our the clients that we are working with in hotels, I think at this point are all aware that they are on some list to be housed. The clients, for example, for the Oak Park housing vouchers are keyed up to complete those applications. And that's really in the short term right now, to make sure that, and we're prayerfully hoping that they will all be able to move forward to actually receiving the mainstream voucher.
So what will it take between now and the fall, let's say September 30th is the
Mhm.
date, to get everyone from hotels into their own apartments and
Yes,
things of
so
that nature.
yeah, so we need to identify landlords, and maybe I can turn it over to William to talk about what that process is to partner with Housing Forward. What is that process of helping to identify units and landlords and housing inspection? William, can you speak to that?
Good morning, Representative. How are you?
Good morning, William. Great. Thanks for being here.
Not a problem. I'm one of the housing navigators / coordinators that goes about the business of identifying the units that are going to be used for the people that we're assisting. A large part of that is a lot of field work, going out and talking to landlords about the program, about the agency, what we do, what our aim is, and then providing what the benefits would be for them to work with us. Some of the programs that we work with, we do individual leases, like if they're in the rapid rehousing program. Now we're seeking to work with landlords on a larger scale, so that we can do a master lease, which will allow us to have a variety of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units that we can use for the various people that we're going to be housing. Going about that now is talking to landlords about what we're doing and the whole hotel to home progress and project. Many of them may not be aware of that. We're looking in, I work in several areas. When we talk about Cook County, generally we're talking about the areas of Berwyn, Cicero, Broadview, Forest Park, Maywood, as far north as Schiller Park, as far south as Stickney, as far east as Cicero, as far west as probably Hillside. So that's the area that we cover when we're trying to house people. Process again is talking with them, letting them know the benefits of working with us as an agency, especially with the house to home process. We can provide stable, we can provide constant income for people because we have a never-ending supply of people that need to be housed. We can also provide the case management that goes with that, all of the ancillary services that are needed to help this be a stable process. When we house the people, we want them to be stably housed because that helps the community as well as the individual. So there's a great deal that goes into what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve. I work with many landlords, some that I've known for some time, but I'm always out looking for new landlords to introduce them to the project as well as the agency, to make them aware and to hopefully for them to be a part of what we're trying to do.
Right. And, ideally, we want to make sure people are housed in the community that's going to best suit their needs, where maybe they have family support or
Linda,
employment.
when we had our special session back in May, part of the $1.8 billion in CARES Act funding was for $200 million in rental assistance. Is that what is helping to fund this program?
No, so that's actually funding that's going directly through IDA, the Illinois Housing Development Authority, and IDA is planning to process those rental assistance dollars for individuals that are behind, that are already actually housed and behind on their rent.
Got it.
So
And so your dollars are coming from where specifically?
From the feds, through
Okay.
through the CARES Act.
There's been no state contribution to that?
There was an initial contribution. There was $6 million from the state. That was a contract that All Chicago, which is the continuum of care in the city of Chicago, they were responsible for the distribution of that $6 million throughout the state to provide support to shelter providers that were converting to the hotel to home model. We received about $100,000 of that $6 million, and that helped us get through April.
I was gonna say that doesn't sound like a lot.
No, No, so that's all the funding that we've received from the state in terms of assistance with hotels.
You know, I value your opinion. You're definitely a leader in this space. As a representative in your service area, how can I be helpful to you?
Yeah, well, certainly helping us get connected to landlords, and William would be the contact for that.
Okay.
But as I mentioned earlier, our next concern is how are we going to shelter people going forward? And we are investigating whether or not going back to a rotating system of shelter is really the best avenue. We really want to identify some property where we can run a 24/7 shelter. As you know, an overnight shelter program is not ideal. While it's very cost effective, I mean, the operating, you know, the overhead is a contribution from the faith communities who work with us. It's not ideal in terms of maintaining good health for those that are already have very often compromised systems because of their own medical conditions.
Right.
And so that's our next challenge is trying to find space. I'll say Westlake Hospital is probably too big for our needs. But certainly
I don't think it's going to be available too much longer.
Yeah. Certainly identifying a property where we could operate a 24/7 shelter, or what we would be calling an interim housing program, where there would be on-site services. We could continue to retain the 1,200 volunteers that are already contributing to our shelter program through meals and the staffing. That's our next challenge is finding a fixed site for that program.
Still a very real pandemic out there that we're dealing with.
Yeah, and that's our concern is come the fall, not only, you know, where are we going to be at with our emergency shelter, but this second wave potentially of newly homeless coming our way.
Yep. It's not a question of if, it's when. And so let's be prepared. And
Exactly.
let me be a partner in helping you get there. I appreciate the information.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning and for jumping on this quick call for you. And we'll share the video and you can circulate it.
Okay, my pleasure.